Hey YouTube, today I just want to address the question that was posed to me about, why did I choose the name that I chose? And I'm thankful for the question. I really appreciated this was coming from Marsha, and I really appreciated her interactions on my channel and everything that she's done to boost the community and so forth. Really glad to have her in the channel community. She asked me, why that name? Because it doesn't, initially it was just the Reverend Doctor, the TheRevDr, all one word, just, So where did that come from, and why is it guitars? I've added guitars to it to make it clear that that's what the channel is about. But how did I get to that name, and why did I choose it, and where did it come from, and all that? It's just a quick video to address that question, so stay tuned as we discuss the Reverend Doctor. Now, if you hear any weird crunching sounds, it's my pug man there, gnawing on his bone like a big boy. That's my little pug Poogrish. So if you hear any crunching sounds in the background, that's what that's coming from. Okay, so my name, for one thing, I am actually a Reverend Doctor, and that is that I am ordained, so I've got the Reverend, and I do have a PhD. It is an actual accredited PhD. It's not just an honorary, or I don't just call myself doctor or something. I've known people out there that have just deigned themselves doctor and will walk around and introduce themselves and like, where doctor of from? Yeah, I mean, I know there are like fake credentials out there. I have actual credentials. I did teach college. I have 4 degrees all the way through doctorate, PhD, all of it in religion, philosophy, theology, biblical studies, all that good stuff. So that's my area of academic expertise. That's where the Reverend Doctor comes from in terms of my credentials. Now, how did I get it as a moniker? Well, as I was getting into guitar collecting, I got really big onto reverb, and I'll probably do a series at some point of videos about some of my strategies, because reverb is fun. It's almost like the adventure of a hunt, because the prey is never the same, and you've got hundreds of thousands of guitars on there at any given time, and stuff is coming and going, and sometimes you can just catch a deal. For example, this G&L ASAT Blues Boy, amazing guitar, beautiful guitar. I'm not going to tell you what I paid for it, but it was well under $1,000, because I caught it on reverb at just the right time from just the right seller who took my offer, and bam, now I've got this amazing guitar at a fraction of the new cost. So I was doing a lot of reverbing and started making some money at it, in that I could pick up, sometimes there was various things. I would pick up a broken guitar and fix it, or pick up a guitar that just somebody didn't know what they had in terms of how valuable it was. Nothing big. I'm in the low end of guitars. I'm not, raining money here. So I was just using my salary basically as a music minister. I was using a good chunk of my salary to start buying, selling, that sort of thing. Bought some local guitars, resold, and So that's where that came from, is that when I was choosing the name for my store on Reverb, I thought, well, I'm a Reverend Doctor, and I went forward with that branding. I got business cards that I put in each order and sign the order, thank you for your order, Reverend Doctor, and so forth. So I started buying, selling guitars, and that was the moniker that I used for that. I expanded into doing some local repair work for folks in the area and that sort of thing. So it came from my guitar business basically. And I never fully launched the business, because as it was evolving, and then I left my music ministry position, so most of these like contacts of the people that I knew that needed work on stuff kind of dried up. I mean, I still know them, but I'm not in the same circles that I was in. And in local business, when it comes to music, so I had been moving more into the reverb stuff, and I still have some of that. I still have a storefront. Y'all are welcome to go and check it out. I'll put a link to it. I've got some things on there, but I've been actually paring down just, the buying and selling is great, and I'm going to continue doing it, but really was not, it's not my strength. I'm not a business-minded person. I can do some of that, and I enjoy it, but the moment that it starts getting into actual business levels, it's like, man, it's not my strength. And so I pulled back from that, and as I was pulling back from that, I was like, well, what do I have? I've got buckets of guitars, and I have a lot of education and experience speaking, and particularly like educating and explaining things. So hey, let's roll with a YouTube channel. So that's where it came from. Was it had moved from a reverb local and local lessons and local repairs and all of that, and then I transitioned and I just kind of kept the name. And when I first got into YouTube as well, I was not, or this go around, I've been in YouTube before, and it's changed every time. I've dipped my foot in and went, "Nyeh," and gotten out of it multiple times. And this is the first time I'm like really fully diving in and trying to quest for monetization. I've not done that before. And so this is a new quest. This is a new process for me. And so I said, well, what do I have and what can I do with it? And so that's why I launched the channel. Now, initially, I didn't realize that you really need to have a narrow focus, because the algorithm has to build your audience. And if you are engaging in multiple very different topics, then the algorithm is going to struggle to find somebody that both likes this and oh, and then you add this in. It's like a Venn diagram where you're getting smaller and smaller slices. So if your channel doesn't have focus, it won't get the benefit of the algorithm building your audience by picking the right people to show your videos to. So I picked that up along the way, which is why I pulled back. I was starting to produce some religious music because my biggest area of expertise is in hymns. Playing traditional hymns in semi-contemporary styling is how I would understand where I am in the music mix. That's my area of most expertise. And so I started doing some hymns, but people that are interested in listening to hymns are not necessarily going to be people that are interested in listening about guitars. So I pulled back on the hymns, and I've not gone any further into the religious stuff. And my plan basically is to launch multiple channels going forward, and it can be the TheRevDr whatever. So the first one is the TheRevDr Guitars. So we are doing guitars on this channel, and I've in various videos explained I love guitars, I love playing them, I love looking at them, I love talking about them, I love talking to other people, I love hearing about them, I love seeing people's pictures of them. All of that is awesome, and it's one of the things that I was like, well, what do I enjoy doing? I enjoy talking about guitars. There was an old fellow in, really wonderful guy in my church that I recently left, and he was like my biggest fan, and we would go back and forth where he would tell me a song, say, hey, can you learn that? And I would go and learn it and then come back and play it for him, because we would hang out after like Wednesday Bible study, and he would say, oh, can you learn that song? And so I would learn, I'd come back for him, and then I would also come and I'd learn a song or learn a melody and play it for him and say, name that song. And so we had this fun back and forth, and every time I got a new guitar, I would come and show it to him, tell him why it was different. He didn't really know anything about guitars, but he loved music, and he loved hearing about it. And I was like, what I was doing with Bob, what I was doing there is something that I really enjoy doing. I enjoy talking about guitars, but you got to talk to other people that enjoy guitars. You talk to somebody that doesn't really care, and they're just like, whatever, you know, which I get. I absolutely get, right? You're either interested in it or you're not. And so how do I find other people that like talking about guitars? Here we go. All right. And I can as I grow, I've got all of my experience as a professor, as a minister, you know, making videos for online classes, and just my general love of art and my DIY personality and everything else. And so that's why I'm pouring myself into this channel. And that's just a little bit about who I am, where I come from, and in terms of why I'm doing this. So as always, if you've enjoyed my content, please like, subscribe. Currently, this is in November right now of 2024. On Christmas Eve of 2024, I'm going to give one of these guitars away to the winner of our sweepstakes, and just trying to grow the channel. Once I get monetized, I mean, then the fun really begins, because I will continue with these gear giveaways, and once I start demoing gear, I can turn right around and give it back to y'all. So there's so much going on my channel. Please like, subscribe, check in. Glad to have you watch, and y'all have a wonderful day.